Hey guys, this is Jesse with Heracane Survival School, and it's late in the day. We all just got off work. We walked over into the brush over there and we pulled out a dead cedar limb. So what I'm going to attempt to do today is we're going to process this out real quick, and I'm going to do a bow drill for you guys. This is a pretty intense skill to have. It's a good skill to have, but it's pretty difficult. So everything's pretty dry right now. We're gonna go ahead and process this out, and I'll get back with you and we'll show you all the components of the bow drill kit. Alright, so I peeled a bunch of the bark off. This is actually going to be the bird's nest that we're going to make. This is going to be the hearth board. I'm going to cut it probably about right here. Well, I'll cut it here, split this in half. Half of it will be the hearth board, and the other half is going to be the socket. Probably this thinner section right here that's straighter, that's going to be the spindle. And this part right here that I cut off a live tree, this is actually going to be the bow. So let's get to work. Okay, so I cut this piece off. I'm actually going to baton this and process it out, so this will be the hearth board. The important thing to remember about the hearth board or fireboard, or however you want to call it, it needs to be a 1/2 inch thick, and so and roughly a little bit smaller or the size of your wrist. So this one should work out pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and baton this out so you guys can see how to do this. So there's the hearth board that we're going to use, and I'll probably use right here. I'll probably start the first one. So there's the hearth board. Now I'm going to make the socket. There's the socket. and you always want to cut your spindle. The hang 10 sign, it needs to go from pinky to thumb, so about right there. It can be a little bit bigger, but I like to make mine a little bit. It's a little bit easier to work with. So I started processing the spindle down. I always cut all the way through the spindle. It gives it these rigid edges. That helps the cordage grip it, so when you're using the bow drill, it'll spin it. If it's really smooth, if the spindle gets stuck on the hearth board, the cordage will actually just spin around it. So right now we're gonna carve this to a point, and a pretty stubby point. You don't want a real, fine point. This end that goes in the spindle, it'll be finer because you want less friction at the top, more friction at the bottom. So that's what I'm doing. So here's the bow. I went ahead and carved the end of it out right here. This is actually gonna hook on there like this, and then it'll wrap around this little notch right here on the bow. That is gonna be the bow. And then here's the spindle, the hearth board, the socket. After I get the bow strung, I'll go ahead and burn this in. We'll cut our notch in the hearth board. I'll get something to collect it. We'll process the bird's nest out, and then we'll go ahead and see if we can't get an amber. Okay, so I got the bow strung. So I'm fixing to burn in the hearth board. Another thing that I wanted to mention, me and Heracane just taught a class on some pine trees. We're not in an area with pine trees, but if you have pine trees in your area, you can actually make a bow drill set out of pine trees. The dead pine that's already dried out. You can actually take the sap from pine and rub it on your string, and it'll help you grip your spindle a little bit more. If you see that the paracord's starting to slip or something like that. So instead of rubbing it, a lot of people might rub it on the spindle. It's better to rub it on the string. That way you'll always have it on the string. You can just wrap it up, throw it in your go bag. So I'm almost done. I got to process the material for the bird's nest, and then burn this in, and then we'll try to get it cold. Okay, so a lot of people, they have questions about how tight to keep your string. So basically what you want to do is when you put this spindle in here, it should pop. It should be difficult, but once you get it in, it should pop into place. Just like that. So that's probably tight enough. Maybe a little bit too tight, but that's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and burn this in. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is, now that I got the hearth board burnt in, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, notch it, and then we'll start making a coal. got the notch cut in the board. It's just to the edge of where I burned it in. I got a little piece of wood here that I processed out to catch the amber. So I'm gonna set this on top and put my spindle in, and we'll see if we can't get an amber. You hear that pop? That's what you need. Once you see smoke, give it a few seconds. Let that amber burn. Let that amber warm up. And then go really fast for about a minute. All right, so we got an amber. You can see that it's burning. It should stay pretty good. We'll let that burn for a second. You can see that because of the low light situation, you see how that amber, look at it. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in the bird's nest and see if we can't get it to flame up. There you go, guys. Friction fire. It's Jesse with Heracane Survival School. Thank you guys for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you.